Okay, our fellow listeners, welcome back to South Coast Radio. And so, a few months ago, we had the pleasure of chatting with an artist who's fast becoming a favorite among our listeners, known as Lovely. And her last single, Broke Me, struck a chord with fans everywhere, capturing the raw emotion of heartbreak and healing. Now she's back with a brand new release called Chapter 9, a hauntingly beautiful pop ballad that dives deep into closure, change, and moving forward. Lovely, welcome back. It's good to have you on the show again. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be back.
Awesome. It's glad to have you back as well. And it's been about 2 months since we last spoke, and a lot has happened since then. How have things been for you since the release of Broke Me?
It has been pretty good, pretty busy, considering matric and all that as well. So it has been a very, very busy season, and releasing lots of music. But it has been fun, and I've been doing what I love. So it has been good, and we've been growing. So that's always a positive.
That's really awesome to hear. And so you received such positive feedback on that song. People really connected to the honesty in your lyrics. Did that response influence the direction you took with Chapter 9?
Yeah. So chapter 9 was essentially the closure. I think I got to see how a lot of people. Also had to have that feeling of being utterly broken after a breakup, and it kind of led me to want to bring people to have a little bit of positivity and to know that there is something good that's still coming, because as much as I love the fact that so many people relate to Broke Me, it is obviously a sad song, so it's eye-opening to see, and then I wanted to give people positivity as well.
That's really awesome to hear, Lovely. And so let's talk about this new single called Chapter 9. It's such a powerful title. What's the story behind the name and what inspired you to write it?
So interestingly enough, Chapter 9 was kind of my point of being I really need to get over this person. I was 4-5 songs deep about the same breakup, and I got to a point where I was like, okay, at some point you need to stop writing about this person.
True.
So Chapter 9 was like, okay, get everything out of your system, anything you still want to say, get it out, and then move on. So Chapter 9 was my closure. It was you're going to write the song, and then afterwards you're not going to talk about it again. So that's how it came to be. It's kind of an interesting story.
Okay, so the song has such an emotional depth. It feels like it's about closure, growth, and moving on, as you just spoke about, right? So can you share what closure means to you personally in the context of this track?
Yeah, I think closure, a lot of people think it has to be the other person giving you closure. But ultimately for me, closure is just about being content that wasn't meant for you. I think a lot of people dwell on the what ifs, like what if it worked, or what if our paths collide in the future. And for me, closure is just being like, okay, this didn't work for me. It doesn't mean it was all terrible. It just, we're now in different seasons, and be content with moving on. I think closure is a lot more of a personal thing than something that someone else has to give you.
True, that's correct. And so you said it's about recognizing when a chapter is over and finding the strength to move forward when it hurts. That's such a relatable message. Was the song drawn from a personal experience or more of a reflection on change in general?
No, it was definitely on a personal from a personal experience, because yeah, as I said, it was my closure,
Yes.
and it was something that I needed to do in order to move forward. So, some people journal. I wrote a song in order to move on. So, yeah.
Okay, so musically, Chapter 9 feels a bit different from Broke Me. It's moodier with that cinematic pop sound and layered synths. What was your vision for the sound and production this time around?
Yeah, I really wanted to obviously capture the emotion. That's my intent with every song. I really want to dive into that feeling. But for Chapter 9, I also wanted it to be different from all the other songs surrounding the
Uh-huh.
breakup, being Hopeless Romantic Reviews and Broke Me,
Yeah.
because I wanted the story to kind of end on a positive note. I didn't want Chapter 9 to be just another somber heartbreak song. I wanted it to be a message of positivity and encouragement for people. So I tried my very best to put that in the musical production as well.
That's really awesome stuff. And so, also, who did you work with on the production side of this song? And what was the creative process like in bringing Chapter 9 to life from idea to final mix?
Yeah, so I worked with my wonderful producer, Jean-Marc Mayer. We've been working together since my very first release. And Chapter 9, it was so much fun, but it was also, we had a lot of conversations about whether it should match the sound of the previous songs about the heartbreak, or whether it should be something that kind of has a different tone to end it off with. So I think that
Yeah.
was our biggest, conversation around the song, but ultimately we then decided that it needed to end on a positive note. So yeah, it was a fun experience, and we got to dive deep into how we really want the song to sound and what we wanted to communicate.
Really awesome. And so your vocals on this track have such a haunting tone. There's a real sense of vulnerability. How do you prepare emotionally when recording something so personally?
Yeah, so a lot of the time, these sad songs, they generally take longer before I have the guts to put them into full production and everything. So I had these songs for almost a year before they went into production.
Wow.
So before every vocal recording, I kind of had to think what I was feeling when I wrote the song and try to channel that emotion to really capture it and to be, this is truly the message, instead of me just singing words that I had written. I had to really try to go back and remember the exact moment when I wrote the song, so that
Yeah.
I could feel the emotion once again in order to convey it in the song.
Okay, so the themes of chapter 9, like heartbreak, resilience, and new beginnings, are things everyone experiences at some point, right? What do you
Mm.
hope what do you hope listeners feel when they hear it for the first time?
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is that they feel that there is actually something around the corner, something behind that door. Because I think a lot of the time in breakups, you feel very trapped. You feel like this is my world now, and you don't know what to do. So yeah, just ultimately that there's something better and bigger for you, and it's not the end of the world, and that you can move on from it. That's ultimately the takeaway that I want for every listener.
Awesome. So, do you feel that each new song you write represents a new chapter in your own story as an artist?
Yeah, I would say so, kind of, because I think with every release as an artist, every song that comes out is another stepping block to grow. It's another adventure. Every song has its own story and its own way of entering the consumer world, and it's ultimately just another way of growing and another opportunity to do the things I love. So it's always refreshing, and it definitely is a new chapter because things change with every song. So yeah.
That's really awesome. And so, and on a personal note, what chapter would you say you're in right now in your life and career?
I think one that has a lot of questions.
Okay.
Being in the transition phase from high school to being in university and all
Yeah.
of that, and I'm writing finals at the moment. Although I am blessed to know what I want to do for the rest of my life, being music and stuff, it still has all of its what if questions, like what is my life going to look like in 5 years? When I go study, am I truly going to enjoy what I decided to go study? So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, and I don't know how it's going to play out. So it's there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it's fun, but it's also daunting.
Okay, so with chapter 9 out now and gaining momentum, what's next for you? Are there any upcoming projects, performances, or maybe even an EP in the works?
Yeah, so since Chapter 9 came out, I actually released a new single about 2-3 weeks ago,
Okay.
called Emerald Eyes, which I released at my matric dance, which was a really cool experience, a really cool moment. So that song's out, and the music video is also now officially out as
Awesome.
of last week. So yeah, you can check that one out and look for that. And then for the rest of the year, there's nothing really planned, but we've got some ideas of possible performances.
Wow.
So there's some things that are still in the making. Nothing's fully confirmed, but
Okay.
yeah, we're working on it.
That's really great. And for those who want to follow your journey and support your music, where can they find you online and stay updated?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, for social media at it's_Luvleigh, or just Lovely, which is Luvleigh. And then if you want to stream my music, you can find me on all the major streaming platforms: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, all of those. I'm there as well. And you can search Lovely, or one of my songs, and again, it's Luvleigh.
That's really awesome. Once again, Lovely, thank you for joining us again, and it's always such a pleasure chatting with you. Your new single, Chapter 9, is absolutely stunning, and we can't wait to see where this next chapter takes you.
Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate all the support.
No problem, you're most welcome. And also to the listeners, once again, make sure to stream Chapter 9 on all major platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Deezer, and Amazon Music. And you can, as Lee has also told you guys, where you can find her, you can also follow Lovely Music to stay tuned for more heartfelt music from this incredible South African artist. In the meantime, we're about to play the song for you guys live on South Coast Radio, Chapter 9 by Lovely, coming up for you to enjoy, and I will see you in a moment.
Best days are the best music for your ears. My one and only station.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.